It's on!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Disney Parks Talk Live of November. I'm Rebecca Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place, and with me up over here, let's see, is Doobie, my husband. How you doing, Doobie?
I was wondering where you were going with that. The 1st of November. Yes, it is. I am doing okay. That's about it.
Down below me with the green screen behind him, I know it's just a wall, but it looks very green screen right now, is our East Coast correspondent, Jeremiah. How you doing, Jeremiah?
I am doing well. I have a deep, cool Kathleen Turner voice because I'm a little sick. Yeah.
You got a little red on the cheek, too. You were on assignment today?
I was running around all day long, yes.
And with the menagerie of critters and creatures from all sorts of galaxies, we have our West Coast correspondent, Mike Celestino. Hey, Mike, how you been this weekend?
Good. I had a nice, relaxing weekend. Looking forward to chatting.
Jeannie plus in the chat. Hi, Jeannie. Go ahead, Doobie.
Oh, just Jeremiah mentioned his Kathleen Turner voice. I just want to make sure he's not going to put on the yellow trench coat and upset some people.
No, you put on the yellow trench coat to not upset people.
Well, it depends on the people you're referring to.
And you're going to find
the red dress. I was going to do that.
Do we have anything to declare today, Jeremiah?
I declare... Yes, Roosevelt's beautiful Emperor's New Groove shirt. They just came out with some Stranger Things shirts. It's coming close to the holiday time, so make sure you head over there and see all the fun Christmas stuff that's coming. They always put out some amazing shirts all November and into December, and then it's all the fun.
And in a surprising turn of events, I actually get to say Roosevelt's too, because my R2D2, it's Roosevelt's. So there you go.
If anybody can find Tony, can we put him over a log and beat him if he made this mistake?
So we'll have to work on that. Okay, thank you, Jeannie. Appreciate knowing that. As many of you are aware, Doobie and I journeyed to Aulani recently, and as such, we happened to be there when the cast was showing off their creative skills, as often happens around Halloween. We're kind of saying farewell to Halloween with the first few moments of today's broadcast, and there were a variety of Halloween pumpkins on display. Doobie, any of them jump out at you?
Yes, I did my homework, and I chose for Aulani. Unfortunately, I sent it to you and didn't keep my own copy.
It's okay. You said Grandmother Willow.
Grandmother Willow, just because she reminds me so much of the Spirit of Pocahontas show. So, I love it. So why are you laughing, Jeremiah?
Because I'm one of the few that actually saw that show and still have nightmares about Sprig or Sprag or whatever the stupid baby tree's name was.
I love the Spirit of Pocahontas show over at the Fantasyland Theater. And this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Of course, I don't know if someone else, I'll leave someone else to choose, but that would be my favorite of the bunch.
I asked Mike Celestino which one reached out to him. What gourd did you select, Mr. Celestino?
I chose Oogie Boogie, or as my wife calls him, Oogie Boogie. I like his ripped seam with the gummy worm and candy corn coming out. It's fun.
Yeah. It was a hard pick for me. While I thought they did a great job with anger, I ultimately went with the representation of the Minahuni. Number 6.
All about the Minahuni.
Right? I knew Jeremiah would be on the same page as me with that. It's all about the Minahuni, right?
You have to show, though, my honorable mention, the Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I'm going to have to scroll down the article for that one. I forgot to have that one ready. Hang on.
And I took photos of the pumpkins at Contemporary and the Polynesian, but that article was in the mix of everything.
Did you see any pumpkin as cool as that one on the right there?
No.
It took me too long to realize what I was looking at. I have to admit. So
is that in Auntie's house?
Yeah. No, it's at the community hall location that's right there, just off the main building. So not quite as far down as Auntie's. Over at Fort Wilderness, I'm guessing these are your picks, Jeremiah, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yes. If you're ever in Fort Wilderness right around the Halloween time, I will give you 2 recommendations. Number 1, go see the golf cart parade. Number 2, don't go to the pet parade.
Wow. Breaking news. Jeremiah hates dogs.
No, I love the dogs, and those are cute. But if you watch the video, it was literally they walked down the center, walked to the judges, and just took off. Like, the only reason that we have these photos is because I was trying to get them as they were standing around. But, it wasn't designed for the audience so much as for the participants, which there's nothing wrong with, but it was kind of one of those, like, I'm sitting there going, I want to see these cute dogs, but they won't.
Okay, so you do, however, recommend the golf cart extravaganza.
Yes. In my almost 12 years of being in Florida, I've always wanted to do this, but it was always a time when I would be working, so I couldn't make it. So this was a special chance for me to get out there.
Thanks to unemployment, Jeremiah was there.
Thanks for being part of Laughing Place. That's me now. So yes, all the golf cart parade. It was about 20 minutes, and they had some of the most, decorative golf carts, and then some that were just golf carts, and somebody threw a skeleton into. But it was all lots of fun. There were some of these were just so detailed. That one is the Oga's Cantina one. That one was my favorite.
That's the one that Celestino pointed out to me as well. He's like, "Hey, did you notice this one?"
Yeah, the cast member or the people in there were dressed as cast members, holding trays with the different drinks. And that one they had a top 5 showing in the evening, but it was too dark to really capture any of the photos of it. But that was definitely my favorite of all of them, because they went to so much effort.
I was gonna say, Mike, what about the Oga's Cantina cart? Did you other than, obviously you like the theme, but
alcohol.
Well, I like that they went so far as to make the piece that I believe it's part of like an airplane turbine engine that was behind the bar in the original Star Wars film, and later became the head of the IG-88 droid in The Empire Strikes Back. But it's also at Oga's in the parks, and they've got it there. You can see it with the little bone tap that's there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Agreed.
And the wart creature is in the tank at the top where he's got
making the boba.
Yeah.
I'll admit that I had a soft spot for this one because it's so sweet. It's a little bit more simple than the designs. They go so ornate nowadays, but this one, come on, you got the balloons as like the core memories. You have the rainbow. You have Bing Bong hanging off the back, and then you have the homage to the Little Red Wagon up there on the top with the emotions of Inside Out. So I don't know.
You have the Darth Vader one up.
Let me see. I know that Doobie said that the one that he liked was the Slinky Dog.
This was so hard to choose. Every time this one. But I finally said, okay, well, let's go with Slinky Dog just because I like it. It actually looks like a coaster, and that's really cool. But
okay, tell me about this one, Jeremiah.
So this was my favorite, especially when I'm videoing it, because I had it kind of the camera set. So it's playing the Imperial March, and Darth Vader just kind of comes into the scene or into the shot, and then just goes through. The lightsaber lit up, and it could be, put back in, and it would inflate up. I was trying to get, again, in the evening when they had them all on display, I was trying to get that video, but it was a little difficult for any of that. But it was, if you looked at it, you wouldn't even be able to tell it was really a golf cart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I agree 100%. It does not any longer look like a golf cart. And then I don't. What'd you say, Doobie?
It's just crazy how much of Fort Wilderness is its own little community within Disney World. There are people that go to Fort Wilderness that will just stay there for a month and, barely visit, just live at Florida for a while, not even necessarily go to the parks all that much. And I can't imagine the people who are putting in the effort to do something like this. This is not the primary reason they're there, and they're just putting so much time and energy into this, and it's awesome. It's like a little small town right in the midst of Disney World.
And I don't know what happens around your house the morning after Halloween, but at our house, my son walked into the living room and I was working on a project and all of a sudden broke into song. Are you ready for Christmas? that's what
No, I'm not.
that's what happened here. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit on the list, you guys, and talk just a little bit about the theme park decorations that have been photographed by the team. Oh man, are you ready for Christmas, Mike Celestino? It's not there at your park yet.
He has snow.
Yeah, we have snow on the castle. I'll be down there next week for the opening day of the holiday season. Very excited for that. As always.
Down at Magic Kingdom, it's exploded everywhere, huh, Jeremiah?
Yeah, the next day, pretty much the decorations were up. There was still some Halloween left over. The Christmas tree went in yesterday, and I believe as of this morning, the Tin Soldiers are out in Town Square. So we'll be getting some more photos of that, and we're doing a live walk and talk on Wednesday from the Magic Kingdom, so we can hear the Christmas music and smell the candy canes being freshly made at Disneyland.
I'm gonna have to look at our pictures from this. Feels different to me than I feel that they've done this portico before.
I don't recall the X on the top of it in previous years, but
so I'm gonna have to go dig up some photos of the Christmas past. And over at Animal Kingdom, we've got some decor going up as well.
Yeah, the statues for the Merry Menagerie, along with the little lanterns, those are all up. Nothing. Sadly, the Restaurantosaurus wasn't yet there with Santa, and the dinosaur in the Chester and Hester's doesn't have a Santa hat on. That was my number one stop. But hopefully those will be up this week. I know Santa, we just got some information about Disney Springs Santa. So we know that Santa's going into Restaurantosaurus there. We just haven't seen exactly where he will be other than in one of the sections.
Do you think that'll be his new permanent location going forward in future years? Absolutely.
He will definitely be in Restaurantosaurus next year and the following year. It's very interesting.
The hardest loss for me.
Yeah.
Restaurantosaurus is the hardest loss of Dinoland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
there's a lot of fun in Restaurantosaurus.
It's fun as it is. I put the shop ahead of that.
Oh, the little store. Yeah, okay. I could see that.
But the funny thing is, both those will still be there when it reopens, but just different names.
Yes.
Yeah, I just hope that one of the fun aspects of both of those was just it was just so over the top dense in its decor that you were always discovering like little nuggets here and there. No matter how many times you went, you'd find something. So I'm hoping that it's able to keep that element. And sticking with Jeremiah for just a little bit longer, you were able to attend a very special event over at Typhoon Lagoon, hosted by the organization Oceans of Hope.
Yes, this was one of those events that when you get the email, you just kind of question exactly what it is. But it's Oceans of Hope is a current cast member created this foundation a few years ago to help guests with disability, mental and physical, get out onto the water and experience water sports. This was focused around the surfing. So family, friends of some of the cast members are out there surfing. It was a great afternoon and evening. And what they would do is if a guest was wheelchair bound, they would help them onto the surfboard, take them out. Well, anybody that helped them onto the surfboard, take them out into the wave and catch two waves so they could experience what it is to be surfing. Sorry, Doobie, not me.
I was hoping.
I did
Mhm.
share with the public relations people my horror story of surfing, and they said, "Oh, that sounds like fun." I'm like, "No." But Danny, who is the creator of Oceans of Hope, he is a greeter at the Magic Kingdom.
I
and
know
just
Danny.
one of the nicest guys in the world, and
Yep.
I just, to talk about Roosevelt, he complimented me on my shirt, and I happened to toss the shirt to him like a certain football player tossed a Pepsi in her jersey to somebody at the end. As I'm leaving, I'm like, there you go.
Awesome.
Then I found
Danny.
out that his wife is somebody who actually has worked in communications that I've known for almost a decade. So,
Oh, that's
small
awesome.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know Danny and look forward to when my Magic Kingdom entry happens to time with his greeter shift. So yeah, this is one of those things that makes as a Disney fan you love. You see cast member initiative. He himself is wheelchair bound, founded this organization, and they're able to provide unique opportunities and experiences for cast members also with disabilities, either physical or mental. And it's just it's so special. I'm glad we're covering it. If you're unfamiliar with Oceans of Hope, look them up and learn more about them and how you can support Danny and the efforts over there at Oceans of Hope.
Yeah, the video in there, I had the chance to interview, I had the chance to have the ambassadors interview Danny, because it's, the ambassadors look much better on camera than I do. And Danny was talking about how he's unsure about when he talks, and how he's never, like, he feels like he's, not giving he started talking, all five of us that were around him just were lost in his words. And then I go, just say exactly what you just said on video. And he does. And it's so meaningful and impactful that he has worked so hard to make sure that this is something that helps cast members and everybody around the Central Florida area.
And I'm grateful for Disney making sure that we as fans can discover more about efforts like this that come from inside the team there. So we'll have a link in the comments below so you can read more about it. And right here on this YouTube channel, as Jeremiah said, we do have Danny representing Oceans of Hope, talking about that organization. Now we're going to share some news that Doobie is very excited about, if he's still here.
Must be cruise line.
There you go. What's happening, Doobie?
Oh my goodness, the Disney Treasure, the next cruise ship, which launches on December 21st, is on its way to Port Canaveral. It has officially been turned over from the Mayor Werft shipbuilding company to Disney. That was done, I think, some point last week, and now it's on its journey. It's had its first port already, I think, in Portugal. It's about a 2-week journey, and then it'll get here, and then it'll have previews, and then it'll have a media event, and then probably other previews. I really don't know the order of all that, but I do know come March 21st, it will have its
December 21st.
Yeah, that's what I said. December 21st. Why in the world would I say March? And I won't be on it, but I don't care because it's another cruise ship, and it's so exciting.
So
Did you say it stopped in Portugal?
On its way, I believe. Yeah, Portugal's in Europe, right?
Okay, that dotted line is inaccurate.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong on Portugal. Do you see any other P countries there?
No. I believe you're correct. But what's funny is that the drawing here does not indicate that it would curve down, because I think the arc here is actually much closer to the European continent before it goes over. But
TIL, Mike knows geography. That was impressive, Mike. I have no idea where Portugal is on this map.
Do you know where Iceland is, though?
So anyway, it's very exciting. Cruise ship's coming. Jeremiah, well, never mind that question.
Yes, I will be out there the day it pulls into Port Canaveral, just like last time. Hopefully,
when is that? Do we know when that is?
I have heard a date. It's not been officially announced, but I have also heard that it pulls in. It's there for like a day and a half, and then goes up to New York. So.
So we'll see. We'll see what's happening.
Yeah. We're going to be.
Yeah.
We're going to be in Florida in the not too distant future. Maybe we can get a peek at the treasure.
What?
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I'm going on a cruise soon. Not
Very
this one.
soon.
Old
Very, very,
ship. One of their oldest ships, the Disney Dream.
very, very soon. So we're gonna jump back over to the West Coast and Mike's beat.
Can I say
And-
one more thing about this? We don't have the
Yes.
picture here, but they turned this over to Disney, and it wasn't Captain Tom who accepted the ship, and it's just weird to see a cruise ship get accepted by someone other than Captain Tom, or Commodore Tom, I believe is what he retired as. So I don't even know who the guy is now. They didn't credit him, I don't think, in the picture, which is wrong. Which makes sense because Commodore Tom will always be the captain of every Disney cruise ship. All right, you can continue.
Okay, we're jumping over to Disneyland Resort.
Okay.
It was the topic of controversy this week because, well, Mike, I think you're the one who brought this up, right?
Yeah, I saw it reported somewhere else, and we lifted
I'll
it.
let you
as we
tell
do.
people what the hubbub is.
So, director Robert Zemeckis, you might know him from the new movie Here that he's promoting with Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, but he's also made a lot of famous films in the past, like Back to the Future and Forrest Gump. But he also directed Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he's doing the promotional tour for the new movie, and he was on a podcast where somebody asked him if there was going to be a sequel ever to Roger Rabbit, and he said that Disney would not make it these days because they wouldn't want to put the character of Jessica Rabbit in a movie, and he cited the example of Disneyland having covered up Jessica Rabbit with the yellow trench coat in the Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin attraction at Toontown down here in Southern California. So it was just kind of a way to, he kind of dredged up this several years old controversy, but he's the guy, you would want to hear what Robert Zemeckis thought of that, which I don't think he had commented on it publicly before that I know of. So it's kind of interesting to see that. Yeah.
He's joining a few other voices. I think over time, as you've said, we've heard from other people who are in, who have had roles within Who Framed Roger Rabbit or were involved with its development. And people have said that, yeah, it's too provocative. Disney wouldn't go anywhere. Do you guys agree? Do you think in the modern era that Disney would do some movie like Roger?
It's interesting because Who Framed Roger Rabbit was released under the Touchstone banner to kind of distance it from Disney proper. And I like the equivalent now would be like 20th Century Studios, right? But they wouldn't put it out under that. Marvel Studios just released its first R-rated movie. So we know that they're still willing to do stuff like that as long as you don't see that castle logo at the beginning. I think there would be a way for them to get away with it if they did it right.
And JJ Smith is coming in media and is coming in and saying, as we've heard over the years, there's a script out there, but Disney isn't developing it. So what were you going to say, Doobie?
I think I think they would release Roger Rabbit with Jessica Rabbit as portrayed in the film, even under the castle logo. I mean, they're more whatever than they were 30 years ago, whatever that was. And I could definitely see it happening. It's different in the parks. They take a lot more heat for the parks in terms of political correctness, for lack of a better word. I feel like they can get away with more in movies than they can in the parks. Even though, and I want to point this out, we still have this guy walking around with no pants in the park every day. Somehow that's okay. Maybe that's a double standard. I'm not sure.
What about Pooh? I mean, we got Pooh walking around.
I said all that just to get to that picture, by the way.
But he doesn't wrap his waist in a towel when he steps out of the shower. We've never seen evidence of that with Pooh. We have with Donald, which leads you to assume that he really should be wearing shorts when he's walking around.
Anyway, we can move on. That was all I wanted was that moment.
and you got it. Casting calls for Better Together have appeared, so people are anticipating the return of that parade, which I don't know that I expected it back when it shut down before. Did you anticipate it was going to return, Mike, or did you feel it was kind of a one and done type experience, or what did you think its future held when it disappeared?
I think I kind of assumed it would be back because the previous iteration was that called Pixar Play Parade was around for a while, so I figured this was the kind of replacement for that. So it doesn't really surprise me that it's coming back.
And have you been back to Tiana's yet for another attempt at the Bayou?
Not since our last Parks talk. At that point, I had been on the ride 2.75 times. I have not made an attempt nor gone on it since then. But they're definitely looking forward to going on it again next week.
Well, if you are going to be there during its opening days, be sure to check out this piece by Luke. He gathers up information on the virtual queue dynamics, as well as where the merchandise will be. It's not where you think. They're actually going to have some, as I recall. Let me scroll down because I've forgotten all of a sudden.
I'm ready. They're going to have some over in Starcade and Tomorrowland on opening day.
Yeah.
But the permanent home is over in Lewis's Critter Club. And then starting on the 21st, they're going to have it in Raised Berets. And that's always a good idea when they open up a new attraction to put the merchandise someplace very far from the attraction for that opening day rush and then bring it back in. And as you said, they will have virtual queue. As always, 7 a.m. and noon, like the virtual queue always seems to work. And it's virtual queue only is what they're announcing. No standby available for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So if you don't get on, make sure you go watch the video that Mike created, the videos out of his 2.75 rides on TBA.
I really like this picture.
It's pretty. I'm so excited to do this. After doing Florida's several times, I'm very excited to check out Disneyland, where, at least from the little bits I have heard, it's executed a little bit better in California than in Florida. So that's exciting.
So I haven't watched any of Mike's videos because I want to experience it firsthand, but the conversations I've been having with people in California is it seems like it was when the change was determined, they based everything off of the California ride. And then for Florida, they just like, okay, so we have all this dead space because we don't have that dead space in California. So I think that's more of what we're looking at for why.
I've heard that as well. I'm looking forward. I don't trust anyone else. I'm looking forward to Jeremiah getting a ride and letting me know if that's the case.
I can't wait for the changeover of Lion King Mountain to Tiana's Bayou Adventure either.
Jumping over the Pacific Ocean, we're heading to Tokyo Disney Sea, where we're learning about some changes that are happening to admission at Fantasy Springs. Okay, Doobie.
Here we go. Fantasy Springs, so that's the new area in Tokyo Disneyland. Really pretty, really nice. Anyone on this panel get to go there? I don't think so. No, I think Luke was there for us, but really hard to get into. They've had various ways you can get in. Special tickets only available to certain hotel people. You couldn't just go to the park and walk in. So starting on March 31st, 2025, all that special stuff goes away. Now, they haven't exactly said what's coming, but presumably people are hoping that after that, it will just be like another land where, they can do this weird thing, like go to the park and walk into the land. So hopefully.
So the headline says this was popular, though. Why was that? Do we know?
I'm guessing because it's using popular in terms of it was.
I think they're referring to the land.
Fantasy
No.
Springs.
Tony wrote it, so he was listening to the Wicked soundtrack when he wrote that. That's
it's
yes, it is the land that is
Springs.
popular, not the ticket option.
I believe they call that a Hangling modifier participle article is the reason that is a little weird to read. If my grammar recollection is
if we're going for the hanging participle grammar, we're going to the gingerbread house next.
And while we're talking about ticketing, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the pricing that we've seen pop up on Premier Pass. What have you been hearing about that, Jeremiah?
So I was over in the park on the first day of that and ran into a popular vlogger, Paging Mr. Morrow, who did pay for the price for the Premier Pass. And just as I've said with any of the pay as you go, he was there at park opening and did 5 rides in the first like half hour without any wait. So yes, people will pay the $200 to $400 for this at times, but it's at your own, caution. You cannot need it. So everybody I've talked to that has used it, aka one person, no real big thing for him. He said it was just, I bought it to buy it, and I haven't, it's hard to talk to people because the only way that this happens is if you're in one of the upper hotels and you actually want to spend the $200 to $400 for it. I haven't seen much as far as lines and wait times change because of it, so I don't know what the actual rundown on the who's buying it or if it's being purchased is. I'm still seeing a lot of VIP guides in the park, so people are still using that form as of now. But as it goes on, we'll see how this goes.
And Kyle is popping in to say the admission option is popular. The idea is that it could be going away because they'll be opening the land and removing further requirement. So there you have it from our very own editor, Kyle Burbank. This one is exciting to me. I love gingerbread houses.
Did you say what? Kyle of Burbank?
No, I said Kyle Burbank.
Lord Kyle of Burbank.
The Jazz Kitchen there in downtown Disney, they do, which I feel is for what I would call a minimal fee when you're talking about something like this. But it's $35. It sells out quickly. The tickets are going to go on sale November 6th. So if you are going to be at the Disneyland Resort throughout the month of December, be sure to see if any of these dates coincide with your trip. They do build your own gingerbread house, decorate it. And then they also have an option of like a hot cocoa or something like that. So it is a limited capacity event. They have been doing it for quite a while now. It disappeared with COVID. I think it may have come back, but then they did this refurbishment of the kind of transition of the coastal grill. So I'm happy to see that it will be there. So be sure to check out the article for more information on the Jazz Kitchen Coastal Grill and Patio gingerbread decorations.
Ta-da! That place, it still looks kind of boring.
What?
But it has gingerbread in it.
I thought maybe the look would have grown on me by now, but no, it hasn't.
Meanwhile, at Walt Disney World, a much, much, much bigger gingerbread house is underway.
This is probably the quickest I've ever seen the gingerbread house go up. Usually it's got a structure and then a few days it's done. I walked in and they had a giant vat of icing and they were putting it on the tiles. There was probably, as you can see in that photo, a handful of people putting it together. And that opens, I believe, on Wednesday is the first day it's officially open. I'd have to double check on that, but it smelled amazing, and that one is going strong. I've heard that the one at the Contemporary is coming along. I was over at the Yacht and Beach Club. They don't have any of theirs ready, actually even cleared out for the construction of theirs. So we'll start to see more and more of those happen around the resorts.
And with that comes a variety of gingerbread treats and snacks. And we have that all gathered up in the headline, in the articles that we'll link below. One of them entitled Discover the Gingerbread Displays and Their Menus. We're just highlighting them a little bit right now because as they do get completed, our team will be taking pictures and gathering information. I figure we can talk about them as they arrive.
And I believe we are doing the Jeremiah Holiday Challenge this year, where Jeremiah will try one of every single holiday item in Walt Disney World Resort this year.
Sorry, my headphones cut out for that, Doobie. Next time, could you speak a little bit louder?
I will try to do better next time.
Among the fun coming to the Epcot International Festival is a Spaceship Earth gingerbread house. Yay!
An 8-foot tall replica of the Spaceship Earth done in gingerbread in Communicore Hall. Totally what that area was designed for. Absolutely.
Well, we didn't get the Figment. Now we'll get a Spaceship Earth at least.
Yes. Yeah, the Festival of the Holidays is coming soon. It's looking amazing. I love Festival of Holidays. It's my favorite, right behind the Festival of the Arts, because candlelight.
Jeremiah, your finger is on the pulse. We've got this big new Communicore Plaza. Any chance we're going to get the Doves back in there?
Sadly, no. I did have that discussion with somebody just the other day regarding the Christmas lights and where they should go back, because everybody's like, oh, it should be back on the castle. I'm like, no, if we're getting it anywhere, it should go back to Epcot.
Can you imagine if they just did like a megawatt, like just throw all kinds of Christmas lights in Communicore Hall, and you just walk in and it's just like, no!
That sounds fun.
So talking about Christmas lights, I was at Disney's Hollywood Studios earlier, and no, the high kicking ornaments are not up yet, Doobie. Those will be the first thing you get a message about. But I walked by Stage 1 shop, the former Muppet shop, and all you can see are tons of Christmas lights hanging from the ceiling. There hasn't been any announcement of what's going on there, but I'm guessing it's something with Jollywood Nights as a meet and greet that hopefully we'll get some type of surprise with, I don't know, maybe a Muppet or two in there. But they did have a lot of Christmas lights hanging from the ceiling that had not been there previously.
Talking about food, there's some holiday treats on the way.
There's ridiculous holiday treats on the way here.
If you're staying at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel, the All-Star Food Court, you're going to be treated to a mini gingerbread bundt cake that looks like that. If you stop by Old Key West or Saratoga Springs quick service, you can grab a ornament cupcake. I believe that's a confetti cupcake on the inside with all the yumminess on the outside. And over at the Mara, that's the quick service of
Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Thank you. Animal Kingdom Lodge. That is the festive tart. It is a vanilla tart.
That's what I call Doobie quite often.
Meanwhile, over at Kona, over at the Polynesian, we of course have yumminess. Olumel making an appearance. Mike, do you eat pineapple Dole Whips? I couldn't remember if you eat Dole Whips or if that's on your don't eat list.
I can and do enjoy a Dole Whip from time to time.
Spiked?
I do like a spiked Dole Whip from time to time.
Oh, speaking of which, Mike, I'm gonna have to. I was working on, and we're gonna highlight this next week, because the Disneyland Resort treats don't begin to appear until like the middle of the month. But there's an old fashioned coming to the Disneyland Resort holiday spin on the old fashioned. So I'm gonna have to make sure that you and Tori are made aware of that. But Doobie, at Walt Disney World, here's something you need to add to your list.
Okay, I'll be there.
Dockside Diner Red Velvet Holiday Milkshake.
Oh, good. I like the Dockside Diner. That's a good place to check out.
And Jeremiah,
too. I like the Christmas tree on it.
Are you a fan of the Lunchbox tarts that they offer over at Woody's Lunchbox?
Yes, but that tart looks, not as good as Doobie.
It's hot cocoa, though.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I will definitely try just because it is so different. But their tarts, their Pop Tarts, essentially, they've kind of gone off the rails with some of them recently. So it's worth a try.
And finally, this treat is called, I want to say Santa Snack I have to pull up my sheet again. I scrolled beyond it, and
That's also Jeremiah's nickname, Santa's Snack.
Santa's Snack. Let me make sure. So, because this is the one that's over at it's Snack for Santa. That makes more sense. It's a chocolate chip cake. It's got edible cookie dough inside, a milk mousse, a chocolate chip cookie, buttercream, and Christmas sprinkles. This is what you're going to get at Pizza Faria Restaurantosaurus. And not until December. So this is a later arrival.
Is there inedible pizza cookie dough?
Well, okay, so you know that
I
you're
know.
not supposed to eat cookie dough.
I mean, you can as long as they bake it.
Well, and I think that's an old wives' tale.
No, it is not.
Okay, Laughing Place does not recommend you eat raw cookie dough. Do not sue us. It is not okay. Jeremiah may not talk again today.
If it says edible.
Well, okay, that is different. That's why they label it edible cookie dough.
Can you not go to your local Publix and get the cookie dough that's ready to cut and bake and just eat it?
It depends. Some you can and some you can't.
You should not eat raw eggs, is what we're getting at.
And right, if your mom is making it at home,
Oh
that's between your family. Health people will tell you not to do it. Some other people anecdotally have done it throughout their entire life and been just fine, but health department will tell you not to eat raw.
Laughing Place does not condone
I can
listening
myself.
to Jeremiah ever.
As Alexa points out, by the way, it's also regarding the flour. It's not just the concern over the lack of cooking when you're dealing with egg. It also is that flour itself can have bacterial components if they're not baked.
Yes, the Google AI results say raw eggs can contain salmonella and raw flour can contain E. coli.
Correct.
And we're eating this stuff, and just cooking it kills all that stuff.
I know.
I'm not convinced.
I go to McDonald's and pay to get an E. coli burger. I have no problem with flour.
Meanwhile, Gia down here defending cookie dough. Nobody puts cookie dough in the corner. We've really hit on a hot button topic here at Disney Parks.
Do they have raw cookie dough in Piceland, Doobie?
I have no idea what Jeremiah's talking about.
The chef went to Portugal or Piceland or something.
Oh, now you said Piceland, like you guys missed that.
Too? Is any of our food safe to eat?
I'm gonna move on to lightsabers. You don't eat them.
Don't eat lightsabers.
At least not while they're on.
Mike, why are we talking about lightsabers?
So Laughing Place was offered the very, very cool opportunity to exclusively reveal this new Anakin Skywalker Legacy lightsaber. This was actually part of the box set that came out at D23 called The Chosen One, and it had 3 lightsabers from Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. So now they've taken this one out of the box. It's available individually as the Anakin Skywalker Jedi Apprentice lightsaber. It's the one he uses in Attack of the Clones. It gets destroyed at the end of that movie, if you recall. But you can get it starting, I think, is it available already? I think it is available already, but it's at Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities, and it is at DisneyStore.com as well.
Which is funny because just before this was released, Doc here got the full box set from D23.
Another lightsaber and helmet that got revealed, not by us, but by author Charles Soule, who created this character. The lightsaber and helmet from the character just called Ren, R-E-N. He was in a comic book called The Rise of Kylo Ren, and he was the leader of the Knights of Ren before Kylo Ren took over. Very cool helmet and lightsaber that are coming. Oh, these are coming on Life Day, if I remember correctly, November 17th to Disney Parks at Galaxy's Edge and Disney Store.
This thing is creepy.
Hearing Mike talk Star Wars makes me miss the podcast. When does that come back?
I'm actually recording an episode this week about the John Williams documentary. So,
did you like it?
I did like it. We on our way home, Tori and I were trying to figure out why Alex did not care for the movie in his review.
I'll be interested to. I still haven't checked out Alex's review yet.
Scathing. No, not really.
So no. And let's see. Down at Walt Disney World, Blizzard Beach has reopened.
Just in time for summer.
We have some images around there. It's nice that they opened that one around this time of year, Jeremiah. So with this Christmas music and whatnot.
It was a very beautiful day there. The park was much busier than it has been previously on opening days. But that also comes from the holiday going on, right? Or the marathon being in town. But yeah, it went out there. Nothing really has changed. They've added they've added a gingerbread shake, I believe it is. No, peppermint shake to the menu. But that was about it. And just everything looks great. They definitely gave it some TLC during the off season.
And finally, in our kind of discussion headlines,
a lot of tabs.
We have some food and wine fun happening over at Swan and Dolphin again.
Yeah, the classic. We had a preview of that today. The food is all amazing. If you've never been to the Swan and Dolphin Classic, we were discussing this. It's much like the food and wine used to be at Epcot, where everything there is made on premise. It is all created just for this, where food and wine now at Epcot is very mass produced. This has the taste, and the chefs went in there and designed their own foods to get out for everybody.
And so if you want to learn more about that event that's happening November 5th, the weekend of November 15th, be sure to check out the link below, learn more about the theme and the charity that will be the beneficiary of that particular
Wounded Warrior.
And as Kyle says, Mac is a huge fan of this event, and I know that to be the case too. So wrapping things up, let me properly share the other items that we've been reporting around here, if I have it, and I don't. Okay, so
nothing. We've been talking about nothing. Go check out our website for all of the latest news and happenings here at the Disney Company.
We didn't talk about the holiday foods at Disneyland, huh? Is that what you're looking for?
No, I was looking for my little list of all the things that we didn't talk about that you can find out more information about on the site. We will be back next week and be talking about Disneyland foods, because those typically are going to be jumping out there the middle of the month. A lot of the Walt Disney World holiday items begin to appear a few days ago.
This weekend.
November 1st. Over the past weekend. So
this weekend comes with the Jollywood and Mickey's Very Merry.
Yep. So I don't know where that picture went that I had ready to go with all of the remaining headlines that we didn't talk about. So Doobie, if you have any that you can tell people about as we begin to wrap up.
I mean, I do have by far the most important, and that is Air France has introduced direct Orlando to Paris service, so Jeremiah the park hopper can do both in one day. I think that's the biggest story. But
that is a goal at some point. Yes,
there's some new Joffrey coffees out there for your Geo and the other coffee people out there. Santulli Canteen is kind of a big one. They have breakfast, the return of breakfast.
Yes, Santulli, the breakfast has returned. It's very similar to what they had the first few years out there. Very good. It's a great way to start your day out there. I did the French toast, and we tried a little bit of everything. So it's great to have a new offering in the parks for breakfast, and it's not just the same old, same old. But you can get cereal. They happen to be Fruit Loops, but they're not called Fruit Loops at Santulli Canteen.
We've talked about the major investment Swan and Dolphin is doing, $275 million investment on event space and some modernization, which is kind of a big one. All the holiday details for the non-Disney parks in the area: SeaWorld, California, Florida, Universal, California, Florida. So progress on the Polynesian Tower. Jeremiah got to see the turtle that is going up on the side of one of those towers. Not a real turtle, I believe it's like an etching.
No, yeah.
Like a turtle. So, yeah, just lots of little stuff going on this time of year. Not a lot of big stuff other than Tiana's opening and the cruise ships coming, but just a lot of little things getting ready for the holidays and closing out the year.
So as we wrap up, just want to remind you to subscribe to Laughing Place, because this time of year we're going to be in the parks a lot, keeping you updated on what's happening as the decor continues to make its way around the resorts. We're going to be sharing menu items, photos, and video of all the holidays going on at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So be sure to follow us on socials, subscribe to the channel here. Anything else I should say before we sign off, Doobie?
I'm going to say one more thing. So we went to Las Vegas this weekend, and one of the things we did there was Flyover. This is a thing that happens. They have them all over the country. Previously done it in Minneapolis, Mall of America, and this one is in Las Vegas near the T-Mobile Arena. And it's basically Soarin', a little bit smaller, but essentially the same ride system as Soarin', but a much longer experience. And we did Flyover American West this time. We previously done the whole country. It's spectacular. If you're ever in a place like the Mall of America or Vegas or any place else that has it and you're a fan of Soarin', I think you'll love it. Obviously, you have to consider if it's worth the money. It's not that expensive. I think it was like $25 from Groupon. But it is high quality stuff. You're not going to go on it and go, oh, this is a pale comparison to Disney. I think it's easily the same quality, and really loved it. And as Kyle said, moms love it too. So Flyover is really cool. And so many more experiences. They had 4 experiences where we just did the one. But really good stuff. Check it out if you're a fan of Soarin'.
And I agree, Gio. That's the hardest part with it for Flyover, is getting over the price tag, especially when you consider Soarin' as part of your full day. But it is a beautiful experience. It is not as low budget as I thought. I really was concerned over the visuals, but they're beautifully done, and it's
when I go to Wonderworks and do one of their simulators, it is not Star Tours level. This is Soarin' level. Only thing that keeps it from being full Soarin' level is the theater is smaller. The screen is smaller. Not small, it's just smaller.
Yeah.
But the experience is really the same experience. Yeah.
Anything you guys want to highlight before we wrap it up? I'm going to start with you, Jeremiah.
No, other than, join me Wednesday, 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be walking around Magic Kingdom, checking out all the cool stuff. I will tempt Doobie into either hosting or definitely checking. I will be walking a certain treehouse to hear a certain Christmas tune coming from a certain organ, apparently, that's happening right this year.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Nice.
Mike, what do you have happening? What's going on for you this week?
Definitely new Who's the Boss by the end of the week, and then next week is a big week for the opening of Tiana and the start of the holiday season at Disneyland. So that'll be pretty exciting.
Doobie, will you be back tomorrow morning?
Yeah, the morning show makes its triumphant return tomorrow morning. We're going to get you up to date on everything going with with what's going on in the world of Disney. Everything going on in the world of Disney, and doing everything we can to keep your and our minds off of what's actually happening in the world tomorrow.
And I'll be back at 4:30. 4:30? Yeah, 4:30. 4. Okay, 4. I was like, it's 4, right? Yeah. 4 o'clock Pacific to talk about Disney merchandise. So if you want to do some window shopping and pretend like nothing else is happening, join us for that. So we will see you all next week for more of the latest happenings around the Disney theme parks worldwide. Bye for now.